every creator knows that what goes into sourcing, building, and perfecting your visual assets. But what if that map you were putting together, and we all use maps in different ways, what if that was done before anything else? This session is going to talk about how AI is changing map creation from the prompt to production-ready visuals in seconds without letting you have to worry about the precision or letting go of control. Really, really interesting. We're going to lean into how prompts turn into map graphics and rethink about map creation. So before we get started, a couple things. Visit all of the booths here. They're all great stuff. We have a happy hour here from 5 to 6. You're going to see all the speakers, a lot of the people there, all the people attending, and so much more going on all day. But with that said, sorry, I lost my place. With that said, for this session, I want to introduce our next speakers. Coming up here, we have Maggie Muhr, a COO of Mapcreator, and Maggie's going to be our moderator, but the two of these folks are just going to chat on and on about this and together. And Robbert Klaver, our CEO of Mapcreator. I have been waiting for this session. I'm a huge map nerd, and these guys are going to help us figure out what the future of maps look like in the age of AI. So Maggie, come on down, bring us into a world of maps.
Okay. You got some nice chairs there. Thanks for that. Thanks for the introduction. Welcome and good morning, everyone. Welcome to the map chat. Be ready to see a lot of maps here. My name is Maggie.
My name is Robbert. And we're going to take you to see some maps. We're going to explain a lot about these kind of maps. So let me start with a question. Do we have any Finnish-speaking guests in the audience? Well, that's good because that kind of proves my point. Right now, you're looking at a map made by one of our Finnish customers. And the point here is even without speaking Finnish, you are able to understand what this map is about. And that's what we're going to show you today, how to create maps like this. Because let's face it, with the current economic and world development, we're still going to need a lot more maps.
So how can these maps be created? Can we maybe hand draw them?
Yeah, I don't know. You might have seen these stickers throughout the north.
But let's face it, this is not something we can go to air with.
Yeah, quite a bit. They're fun to look at, but we want to help you create those maps better. We want to undo bad geography. That's what the erasers are here all for. So please take them all home with you. Because, yeah, like you said already, the news events these days with the geopolitical interest behind it as well, they will prompt us to continue integrating maps in our everyday storytelling pieces. Sure, these kind of scenes might not be all too much familiar and happening anymore, but the feeling is real. News are breaking and you're in the middle of it all. Chaos left and right. The live ticker is about to go out and you are supposed to include a map with it as well. But where are you going to get your maps from? Maybe, or ideally, or luckily, you have used a map from a similar story a couple of weeks before, so you can repurpose it. If you're skilled, then you can also screenshot a Google map and you can hand trace in Illustrator, make sure that it looks production ready. But in the frenzy of this all, you're not going to have time for it. But why are maps even that important?
Maps draw people in. Let's face it, a picture says more than 1,000 words. Maps allow to make news more personal. And to prove that point, I can share something about our interactive maps. Whenever some of our users on their phones or on their desktops open one of our interactive maps, the first thing they do is locate their own home.
If they don't know where they're living,
they want to see it. So maybe let's talk about animated maps for a bit, because these really take your graphics to the next level. From over here, you're seeing visualizing a flight line, or maybe visualizing a Formula One track. Not the Las Vegas Grand Prix. This one is in Spa, as you can see. It's a bit greener here than in Las Vegas. Well, let's do another one where we do a nice fly through to the beautiful Grand Canyon.
Yeah, that would be very pretty, but how can we actually create some such maps? And that's where we want to help you out. Mapcreator is this online mapping tool. No worries, this is not gonna be a deep dive demo. We just really want to show how quick and easy it can be to create maps. So let's remember the map from one of the previous slides, and that's the one that we're going to have a look at together right now. You're looking at that interface, and to the left-hand side, we start off straight away with our annotation menu. There's a couple of icons and markers, all pre-curated and customized to the look and feel of your newsroom and of your brand. Since in the heat of the moment when maps need to go to air quickly, we want to make sure that you don't need to worry about the map itself needed to be fine-tuned. All of those things are already in place for you. So we got the markers, we got our text elements. Next up, we need to be able to draw lines, right? We remember that from the first slide. We need to be able to show the range of missiles, for example, that are going to be used here. And then additionally, what could help as well is just to understand the more global context around it. Which areas of interest are we even looking at here? And then the final step, something that we are also quite proud to support the busy newsrooms with, is the live data integrations, especially for, well, natural disasters, or in this case, war situations. This is a live data integration that shows the Ukraine war situation updated on an hourly basis, because again, we want to help you with the quick map creation so you can focus on the fact that the map is going to look pretty and it's going to go to air quickly. So if we just need a couple of more moments, then we can make this map go to air with. It's going to look broadcast ready. We can publish it. Maybe you have to also create the maps for all of the other news channels and media channels that you're serving, from socials to online news articles, maybe even print if you still do newspapers as well. But yeah, didn't take us all too long.
Just took you a few minutes, I think.
Yeah. Right. So that was an example where we need to show the everyday breaking news that's happening in the world. But what if you are tasked with creating a map of the funky locations in the world where penguins are living? So you would think naturally South Africa or maybe Madagascar. Now, you first start off with, okay, wait, where in the world do penguins even live? Obviously, you have to start with your Google research. You have hundreds of tabs open. You start collecting your data. Meanwhile, you hope you're not getting sidetracked by cute baby penguins. But yeah, of course, focus back. No more cute baby penguins. You need to make sure that you get the story out there in time. And you collect your list of locations, you're getting somewhere, but now you realize, wait, where can I actually visualize all of those locations? Which tool do I use? Does this tool have up-to-date data? Does it even have all of the locations that I have now collected in my heavy-duty research? Well, that's where Mapcreator comes to the rescue again. And we just want to support you here with this heavy lifting. We want to help you by organizing your data inside of a spreadsheet, make that an Excel sheet, make that a Google sheet. All of the location data in there will then be automatically plotted with a simple drag and drop. You can bring those locations onto the map, so you don't need to worry about the manual hand dropping of 100 locations one by one, but all of those locations will automatically be mapped for you. But what if, instead of having to map all of those penguins places, you have to do meerkats instead? Of course, also Timon is funny to look at, but actually the situation itself is not funny at all, because you have to start all over again with the spiel. You have to start off with the research again, square one, blank Excel sheet. You have to fill it in with all of the location data, and that's really not fun. Of course, AI these days helps a lot with that research. Instead of going into hundreds of browser tabs where we have to find those locations, AI can help with the research. It can do some of that heavy lifting for you. And AI has matured enough that when you do ask AI that it needs to collect a list of 100 locations for you, it actually does that instead of just delivering a half-empty file. Nonetheless, it will be important to stay critical towards what AI does deliver. Maybe you've seen similar examples like this one here, where you're asking AI if you should take your car to the car wash, which is just 50 meters away, maybe by foot. And AI, ironically enough, environmentally friendly enough, actually recommends you to do so. But obviously, I don't know, maybe AI just tells me to take a shower.
Well, we need to learn to write better prompts. And this is not just about saying please and thanks. We need to stop fearing AI for taking our jobs, and we need to embrace it as a productivity tool. Luckily for us, AI is pretty bad at creating maps. This is because AI is very good at making things look correct, but maps require precisely correct. Maybe we can have a look at some current examples of AI. Now, this is a very funny map. Any one of you arrived here by boat? Because when I asked it to make a map of Las Vegas, it came up with the Las Vegas River. And this is a perfect example because AI has analyzed hundreds or thousands of city maps, and it has concluded most of these featured a river. So when we ask it to make a map of Las Vegas, it considers it highly likely there needs to be a river. Let's do another example. I'm from the Netherlands, and sure, we like cheese and we like windmills and we like riding bikes, but this is not a really usable map, is it?
Well, for a children's book, maybe.
So let's have a look at how we actually can use AI. AI is very good at three main things. It can generate locations lists for us, it can clean and organize our data, and it's a very good source of inspiration. And that's why we're coming up with the AI assistant.
All right, so summing it up, luckily for us creators here, all map creation with AI is simply not possible yet. AI cannot build maps, but maps AI can help with organizing the data and putting it in a neat overview for us. So I would say let's put it to the test. And we're looking here at our AI assistant. And well, I would say let's just create a couple of examples together. The first one up is one funny one for us US noobs. You would think us working with maps and geography every day, we would know maybe where in the US all of the counties of Washington are, but it gets very confusing if you have Washington County and again Washington County and Washington State and Washington DC. Anyway, AI helps us understand where are all of the counties that are called Washington County. Or the next one for us US noobs, the imperial system. It's always so freaking confusing when we're here. And well, did you actually even know that besides the US, there's only 2 more countries that also work with the imperial system?
Do you know which countries these are?
Do you know which one
Am
these
I
are?
putting you to the test now?
Do you know which ones these are?
I think I do. Yeah.
Which one is it?
I think that's Myanmar on the right. And what do we have in Africa there? No.
Does anyone know? We have Liberia.
Liberia.
All right. Do we have any map nerds in the crowd? I know we are already map nerd enough for you all, so no worries if you're not. But does any one of you know where Null Island is? Null Island. All right. Null Island is the place in the world where latitude and longitude meet at 0 degrees. And I've been told, I haven't been there, but I've been told it's a place with a whole lot of nothing around it. And that's obviously what the maps look like as well. So we need a little bit more context. But a bit more context still doesn't deliver a much understandable result. So we need a little bit more null, a little bit more context even. And that's when we understand, okay, we're somewhere in the middle of the ocean off of the coast of Africa. The mini map on the top right corner helps. But I think we need one final push to make this an actually understandable map. And then we finally put this into a globe that we understand now where in the world Null Island is. Now, do we have any Super Bowl fans here in the audience? Or actually, maybe I should rephrase it. Bad Bunny fans. I think at least after the Super Bowl halftime show, we were all Bad Bunny fans. And there was this moment where he mentioned all of the countries of America. And it almost felt a little bit like the Animaniacs singing the Song of the Nations. But he forgot one country. Does any one of you know which one it was? Very good. You knew it, and AI knew it as well. Now, do we have any music fans here? Does anyone know how to sing Johnny Cash's I've Been Everywhere?
Are you gonna sing it for us?
You definitely do not want to hear me sing about it, but these are all of the places that AI found for us, shown on a Mapcreator map. And I think that looks like a pretty fun road trip to do, maybe after the NAB days. And one final one where AI should have created the map for us, but it did not, much to the dismay of our social media team, which also came with a funny side story. However, we did go viral with this Instagram post where we tried to map all of the locations that the JC is mentioning in Empire State of Mind. But let me say that the online crowd had quite an opinion about how wrongly we have done that.
they throwing tomatoes at you?
They have been throwing some virtual tomatoes at us. Yes. Some famous people told us that this is certainly not the route, that apparently had never left the tourist area. We forgot some locations. We really should not decipher rap lyrics. And this one here is a funny one. Someone said that that's true, we forgot to map Bed-Stuy. If we had asked AI to find a list of locations for us that are mentioned in the song of Empire State of Minds, then actually AI would have been able to build this map more or less correctly for us.
Well, Maggie, these are all very funny examples, but can we instead look at some production quality examples?
Right, let's have a look at Mapcreator again. We're still working with the AI assistant, again, just to help with a bit of that heavy lifting, with that research, and then we can focus on making the map look pretty and make it production ready. So in this case, the task was to show the Big Sur marathon that's happening next week. Any one of you going after NAB? Anyone didn't walk enough here on the show floor yet? Well, AI found the route for us, which means we can just annotate it with the interesting points of interest along the route, the start line, the finish line. And then it's time to actually build something fun out of it. Now we can use our keyframe generator. We can make sure that we're going to build a fun looking animation and make sure that we see how this marathon route is built from A to B to C. Or besides just marathon routes, how about we show the historical route 66? The prompt was as simple as that. And then if we take it to the next step again, where we work with the auto generate keyframe function that we have, then you can just work with the elements that you have already present on your map. And then the tool will do again all of this automation for you. And it will actually create a keyframe sequence for you that maps the route 66 for us with the camera in a bird's eye view flying on top of it. That would also be something fun to do after the conference. All right, well, besides those animation examples, maybe back to the basics. What if the prompt is to show the city that we're in the state that we're in? Obviously, AI can do that very, very easily. But what if you're not in Las Vegas, Nevada? But what if you're in New Mexico or Honduras or Venezuela? There are also all sorts of kinds of Las Vegas there. And now what?
Yeah, now it gets interesting because now we have our map animation ready, made for us by AI. We saved some time. How do we get them to air? Typically, we have these kind of situations where you have different versions of your file. The final, this one. How do you do this handover if the files are all scattered around? Can we not have like a uniform way to get the maps to air? That's why we developed Mapflix. That's what we call it internally. Officially, it's called the project browser, and it integrates directly into your newsroom system. And it shows you all of the map videos that you've built, and you can select them from this overview here. So no more manual file dragging around, but everything directly integrated into your newsroom production system. Over here, we're looking at EMPS, but it can work in any newsroom computing system.
All right, now that all of our maps are ready, they're production ready. If we can summarize the key things that we have talked about here right now, is that we believe that anyone can create maps. You can see so yourself if you visit us at booth N1640. Try it out yourself. You can take that eraser with you in case you're not happy with the map examples. And one more thing, we have this interactive kind of canvas where you can actually draw onto the map and show us where you're from. So really, anyone can create maps.
AI is not gonna take your job
Yet.
yet.
And the last one is penguins and meerkats really do live everywhere. Thanks a lot, everyone, for your time. Thank you.
A couple of minutes we have left?
Please do.
I'd love to. Is that okay? I'm just going to do it.
Go ahead.
So think about this from a creator perspective. So I'm making videos, I'm putting them up on YouTube or Instagram. How easy is it to take the stuff that you're doing and pop it into that world?
I'm sure you can just export a classic video file, MP4 file or what, and just upload it to YouTube directly.
So just like an MP4 or something like that and put it in there. Is there any way to work some of the workflow in? And I know you've got the keyframes in there, but can I add additional things in on the keyframes?
Definitely. If it's so those lines, if you want to show that route, those animation pointers to start or the finish line of that marathon line that we talked about, you're the creator, and we have all the tools that allow you to show you what you want.
And when I work with your stuff, it's all completely like licensed and everything, and I can use it everywhere forever, no problem. Once you generate it out.
You got that right. The map's yours.
Yeah, and what if somebody wants to get in and figure out how to use it and work with it in their workflow, like because I make LinkedIn content, right? And I think this is great. The ability to just add maps in is so visual. What would your advice be for a creator to think about? Hey, I want to do maps. What are some unexpected places where maps could actually get involved in your content?
Well, we have seen maps really being used for everything and everywhere. And if you think about it, first of all, maps make things really personal. Like Robbert also already said, maps draw people's attention in. You want to see where in the relation to your own home something is happening. So yeah, a map can be used here on the shore floor as well. So you understand where in the world you are right now.
Yeah, and it's obviously you can do it pretty much in real time. I'm struck by what does anybody know what Michael Reeves and Ludwig have been doing? I mean, these are two amazing YouTube creators, and they're going out without a map, without GPS, without anything else into China, into Japan, and moving around. But they're doing production every day about it. And they have this big truck following them around. I'm not sure if they're using your stuff, but it would be amazing to be like, okay, here's where we went, here's where we got lost. But doing that every day on that creator's thing, that's a thing you could just like that, right?
That's it. Yeah, you don't want to rethink this whole process again from scratch every time. You should just be able to rely on a tool that does all of that for you. So all you need to say is, okay, this is where I've been, this is where I got lost, and the map's ready.
Yeah, and Iraq, remember the Iraq? He did 50 states in 50 days. You guys know that. This would make something like that so easy. So I'm fascinated by this. Now, what about real time? Let's say I'm a live streamer and I'm doing live streaming and all of a sudden I want to show a map off. Can my producer just generate something really quickly and pop it into my live stream via OBS or something like that?
Well, very interesting. Yeah, that's what we're actually presenting at our booth. So
Oh,
if
okay.
you're interested in seeing real-time rendered maps, definitely stop by. But yeah, you can just go through the tool and it generates a link for you. Instead of a video file, you now have a link, and that link can then be directly embedded into your online production.
I think it's fascinating. Do you mind if we do some Q&A? Does anybody have any questions for these guys? Q&A? Yeah, you cool with it? All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to run the mic.
Hi, I work at a local news station and we do a lot of weather maps. Is there a weather integration in your map maker?
Yeah, we have a couple of those live data layers. You saw that one example before with the Ukraine war, but we have things around hurricanes, wildfires, earthquakes, everything that you need for your everyday production as well, from trustable sources, NOAA, USGS. So you could use those live data integrations. And well, if you need something very specific because there is a blizzard happening in Las Vegas, then you could always, of course, map that as well.
Cool, thank you.
Other questions out here? Anybody want to raise their hand for figure out maps? Maps in the world. Okay, for map geeks, I was fascinated by Null Island, which I did not know existed, but then I was like, wow, there's an island where 0, 0 hits. What are some other really interesting map crazy things you've found as a map geek as you've done this?
One of my favorite stories there is, disputed boundaries. How some countries have different views of the world or their country. And one of my favorite stories is from Google, because they had China and India on different country boundaries. So if you would visit, if you would check China while you were in China, it would show it the way the Chinese want it. Same for India, except they made a little mistake and they flipped them around. So if you would visit Google Maps from China, you would see the Indian view, and vice versa. So obviously they managed to piss off two countries.
Yeah. How about you? What's your favorite like map discovery that you did? I mean, besides the meerkats and the penguins and all that.
I think it's probably just being able to sail around Antarctica. There are, in fact, some cities there that you could visit and to be able to view them nicely from bottom up from the globe. That looks pretty cool.
So are you integrated at all with Google Maps, for example? So like, for example, I travel a lot and I've got all the places I want to go to and places I've been, their start and all this other stuff. Is there a way to take some of that data in so I could say, oh, I want to create a map of all the things I just did over the last 3 weeks?
We actually kind of pride ourselves in saying we are quite different, or the opposite even from Google, in the sense that you get to build the map the way you want it, and there is none of the other noise that Google Maps might show in there. So if you do have all of those locations that you visited and you want to map them, then yeah, best to organize that data and bring it into Mapcreator. Then you can show really just these locations, and then you don't see any of the other points of interest that some ad payers pay Google Maps for to just display it.
Yeah, that's it. In the end, Google Maps is an advertisement platform. And if you want to make a map for breaking news, you're not so interested in Johnny's Burger place.
No. But so there's an ability I can do to sort of export from Google Maps and import into what you're building to be able to do that, right?
That would be possible.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. That, because I think that could be amazing also. And I'm sure AI could help us too at some level. What are some other ways that AI has made what you've built easier and better for creators, for newsrooms, for other people integrating this in?
Well, we have we also do election maps. I think that's an interesting example as well. So we did 2024 election maps, and what we built this year is a voice assistant that uses AI to help understand people that might not be able to read or see properly. We have an assistant that basically reads out the election result, explain how the system works, explain key arguments from specific candidates, so that even if you are let's say, not so proficient with the election map, you can still get an answer from it.
Yep. Well, I want to walk you through a situation that I had where I wish I had known about this, because I would have put this in some of the content that I do. It would have been, in this case, a static map, but I would make a great video out of it. So you know how around the world we've got different countries that are various levels of banning social for kids under the age of like 15 or under the age of, or whatever, or say no phones. I'm assuming, but walk me through the process for this, where I could query AI to find out the places that have banned social, or the ones that are starting to, or the ones that are thinking about it, and then plug that data in really easily and create a global map where you could kind of spin the globe, and that would pop up when those different states like Australia banned, and or Greece is going to do it, or UK is considering it. Walk me through how I'd make something like that happen. You see my brain working? How would I do that with Mapmaker?
Actually, exactly like that. You should come work at our booth, because this is really how it works. You would say, hey, show me all the countries that are about to or that are banning social media already. And then with the keyframe generator, you saw it on one of the slides before already as well. You can pop that first into a globe view. We start off with Australia, we spin out, we go into Europe, we spin out again, we continue rotation to show all of the countries that are mentioned.
Yeah, so it sounds like from Mapcreator, you can be really creative with how you want to visualize it and how you can zoom in and out. I saw the keyframe feature, but I assume there's a lot more there than what you were able to show us. All right, and 3 minutes left. Any more questions out here? I got a question over here. Yeah.
Hi, I feel like we began to touch upon this in the last 15 seconds, but I work at a news organization, kind of a perfect client case for this. I was wondering how detailed you can get with, for example, you have the keyframes, but can you smooth out the keyframes, ease them? Because, if I can make a map quickly, that's great. But if a producer asks me for a very specific note with 20 minutes left and I can't make it easily, then I'm in trouble.
No, very fair. Yes, you have full control over the keyframe animation, ease in, ease out, or no ease. Depends, of course, on how you want to display it. And it goes down onto granular street level, where you still have full control over showing which streets or street names you want to show, if you want to have them fade in, fade out, or show only very specific ones. So it really allows you to get detailed. Or if you want to take it a level back and don't give a producer too many options, that we can also already fine-tune that a little bit to avoid the pink names, the green names, and to make sure that the map still looks presentable.
That's cool. Other questions? All right, well, I think we're going to wrap this up. Look, I'm a huge fan of what you guys are doing. I think Mapcreator is really interesting. I can't wait to put it to work. Hopefully you all got one of these. But I want you to give a big round of applause to these guys for showing this off. And yeah, mapcreator.io, your booth is over in the North Hall. You can learn a lot more there, and they'll be kicking around for a little while. So thank you guys. Super interesting. I love that.